Hello and welcome to another tutorial on Creative Instruct. In today's episode, we're gonna look on auto layout, a feature that sets Figma apart from its competitors. And though it's quite powerful, not everybody uses auto layout. It can be tricky for the because it packs a lot of functionalities. With that being said, do please like the video, subscribe to the channel. It will help the community grow, and let's get into the example. What we're gonna do, definitely we're gonna try to see how it works on a basic level. You see here I have a button. It's adjustable, and at the same time I can swap in or swap out components. I can have an icon preceding the label of that button or following the label of that button. It's really useful when you have multiple elements inside your component or inside your frame, because it works also with components, also with frames or with selections. I can easily adjust those elements inside, add or remove elements. My component will stay flexible enough, as you can see with this vertical card. Same thing if I would have a horizontal displayed element. So if you build it correctly and test it in the beginning, you shouldn't have any problem adjusting it later. It also works on main navigation elements when you have multiple links here and you need to swap in or swap out or adjust the length of individual items. Okay, so now let's try to work with some examples closer to real life. First of all, we're going to look at this button. Okay, we want to make a button, and the button should adjust immediately to whatever it's inside. Can be a simple label, can be an icon, can be both a label and an icon. Sometimes the icon can precede the label, other times can be after the label. So I just have a frame here with a colorful background, the text, and the icon. I'm gonna select my frame and hit plus on auto layout, and now it wrapped around the other elements inside. Let's adjust a bit the paddings of the button, and I'm gonna go with left and right of say 32 pixels, top and bottom of 16 pixels, and the space between the elements I can have 12 pixels in between, and of course they're set to horizontal directions. Now swapping the elements, just to test it works, adjusting the length of my label, and then I can also change the properties of the icon, and everything is fine. Okay, it's really easy, and the alignment's gonna be done through the padding. So that's one common case. Then we have the card component, which I showed you in the beginning of this short tutorial. It's a simple frame, and then I have several elements like an image, a title, some icons that represent the star rating, the price, and the call to action. It's a button, okay, it's a group. We can also have this other kind of approach where we grab whatever we want to be the parent frame and add auto layout to it. Now whatever I'm gonna add inside is there will be the children of that auto layout. So I'm just gonna drag that image, and of course it's set to hug, it's wrapped around. I'm gonna add the title. Okay, that was easy, and keep in mind this time I want to have the vertical display. Okay, I'm gonna try to add the text, and well, it doesn't work because definitely it goes out of bounds. I need to constrain a bit the text. Let's try to do that, and now it works. We're gonna see how we're gonna set it up to fill the content soon. We want to add the star rating, so how about we select all of those elements, we make a selection as we've seen, and group this selection. I'm gonna hit Command G or Control G and add auto layout to it. Let's keep it on the horizontal and set the spacings in between to 0. Now, having this ready, I can simply drop it in, okay, and it will behave. You can continue to adjust the spacings if you need to. And at the bottom, I would like to have the call to action button, yeah, with the price tag. So I'm gonna select those. It's a text, and this is a group that has the label and the shape of the button. I'm gonna group them and hit auto layout, and now, well, it should behave as an auto layout, so I can just drop it in. Okay, and let's try to see how the content behaves here when I scale this element. I would like the image, which is a child, to fill on the horizontal. So change this property to fill after selecting the image. Same thing for the title. Let's try. Then the rating, I leave it like that. Let's try to set it to fill the container, also the text, and let's experiment. Okay, it starts to work fine. How about we also make the text paragraph fill the vertical space, and you can see what happened with the bounding box. That's better. Yeah, and like that, it's gonna push my CTA to stay at the bottom of the card. So last thing I need to do is try, yeah, to work with this sub component, and it already has an auto layout. Yeah, I placed it already in an auto layout. I do want my button to go to the right, so I could just go to the advanced properties of auto layout and spacing mode, set it to space between, and now I can tell the parent to fill the container. Just like that, it will keep space between the elements and fill the container. Okay, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. So I can try now to have a horizontal display. Maybe the image is going to be featured, yeah, on the left side and the content on the right side. So let's see how we're gonna do that. Again, I'm gonna select component, add auto layout to it, and this time I want it to work on horizontal, grabbing the image, dropping the image inside. Now, whenever I will drop new elements, they will go on the horizontal axis. Okay, that's good to know. But I do want them to stay side by side. How about we also make those into an auto layout of its own before dropping them in, and having the auto layout go on the vertical way. Okay, so let's group those together, bring them again in the auto layout like in the previous example. Of course, you can name those elements, and then let's try to do the same thing with the call to action and price. Okay, I'm gonna add auto layout to them, and I want to, let's try again to set the spaces to space between. Now, really interesting is, yeah, to set the text having it baseline. Look what would happen if the price is larger, yeah, and if it's set to align at the baseline, it will keep the text baseline. If not, well, it will line it vertical middle to bottom. Okay, and having all these kind of ready, well, and just try to group them all or place them in frame and add auto layout. Okay, now this whole thing behaves as an auto layout, so I can just grab it entirely and drop it inside my initial component, just like that, and it will need to wrap. So let's declare parent component to hug this new element that I brought in. Okay, let's see in terms of resizing. Oh, this image could now fill the container height, and when my frame resizes, I would like also those elements to resize. So let's set it to fill the container on the horizontal, and let's also try to work with the children to fill the container. Now this one at the bottom, well, again, I need to set it to fill the container just like that. It will work now. You can see when the image is taller than this other element, they will align at the top, and that's because the parent is set to be aligned at the top. I could try to keep them in the center like that. They will stay in the center. So again, it's about how you work with items. Last example, well, again, it should be quite simple by now. I have this logo. It's a frame that has the icon and the name of the company and a couple of link items grouped together. There's some text elements that come together. So then I have this bar which I called main nav. Yeah, I can try to add auto layout on it, and then just drop the logo in and drop the nav link items. I do want all elements to stay in center, and let's add space between. Yeah, that's the reason I separated those into two different frames, because now when I would add space between and I resize that one, yeah, it simply works. Okay. Now I also have a bit of problem here with frame because it's set to a regular frame. So let's make it into an auto layout, which displays again horizontal, and now it's really easy to change the elements, easy to see. Okay, before we go, basic challenge for you guys be to try and make this type of dialog window where the text area will resize itself if dialog window grows on the vertical, horizontal. Of course, also the email address field should resize, but not on the vertical. At the top you just have a title and dismiss button. Also those should be in an auto layout. You can see they do resize. Basic elements start with would be the initial frame, of course, close icon, title, the buttons. Start with them in static mode, and then try to see if you can make this one by using auto layout. That's all for today. I hope you learned something. I hope you're gonna use auto layout throughout your designs, practice with it, and then you're gonna get a feeling on when to go with a vertical or horizontal display, when to add paddings, the size of your paddings. Of course, do test, and whenever you think that it's not working as you expect, try to debug and see what kind of behavior does the parent have and what kind of the behavior do the children have. Well, with that being said, do subscribe and let's keep in touch. I would love to hear from you, so do feel free to drop a comment. Bye.